Hey, welcome to the Insight Corner with me, Nikon. Today I wanted to answer the question, what do you do when you don't feel good enough? Because we all know we all go through that. I don't care how much money you have in your account or don't, or your position or your status or how much you've accomplished. It's a feeling that really does affect everybody. And I think that on the surface, we're just really good at hiding it. And so I wanted to take a moment and help you to unpack it and get some new perspective around it. Because to me, it's one of those feelings is that when you get caught up in it, it feels really personal. It feels like you make it about you and about your character, and then you start getting um, really serious about yourself. Like, oh, if I was good enough, I'd be doing this, or if I was good enough, this wouldn't be happening. And it's like a dark spiral that just doesn't get any better the more you try and look into it. So I wanted to help you unpack it and like what would be helpful when you're feeling like you're not good enough. To me, a great place to start is to take a look at the nature of the feeling, right? Because I think that our knee-jerk reaction is to try and solve it. We'll try and push away the thing that's making us not feel good enough, or we'll go do things that do make us feel good enough, like the things that we're good at, like a sport, or some people like a sport, or go out or go shopping just to make us feel better, to solve this feeling. And the truth is, we don't need to do that. A mentor, Lynn Robertson from Genius Catalyst, once told me that there's no solution to a feeling. Like, because the feeling of not good enough, it's not a thing, it's made of thinking. Because we're living in the experience of our thinking, not our circumstances. And so, for example, you could be having a really rough day and not feel good enough, and you could also be having a great day and not feel good enough. You could achieve great things in your work and your business and career and still feel like you're not good enough. Or you might have days where you haven't done anything and you'll feel really content with yourself. So to me, that really points to the fluidity of our thinking, right? So if me not feeling good enough has nothing to do with outside circumstances, then what is it made of, and how do I stop it from happening? So going back to that knowing that we're living in the feeling of our thinking, it means that we're really reacting to insecure thinking that's coming past our consciousness. Like, I have some insecure thinking happening in my head, so therefore I'm feeling insecure, and I'm projecting it as I'm not good enough. And I get it. It can drag you down. It can be really dark and hold you back. And so what do you do about it? I think the first step is to see it. Like, if you can see that you're reacting to thinking that's happening in your mind, then it doesn't look as scary. It doesn't look like you have to do something about it right away. And that will help you settle much faster than anything else. And the cool part about that is once you start to settle and you're less afraid of thinking that makes you look like you're not good enough, you start to tap back into your internal Wi-Fi, tap back into your innate wisdom and genius. And that's the good stuff that helps you to get unstuck and move forward. It points you in the right direction of what steps to move forward with wherever you are. And I'll share with you an example. So I used to be a professional taekwondo player, and I used to have crippling anxiety of not being good enough. I used to blame myself, I used to judge myself, because like, oh, if you were better, you would win more medals. If you were better, you would be going to the Olympics by now. If you were better, you would, be a world champion by now. And I used to spend so much time and energy in working on myself and my thinking, like, okay, I need to make myself believe that I am better. I have to like clear out my limiting beliefs and take on new beliefs that make me really believe that I'm good enough and I'm not a piece of crap. And it was so much work. I would like visualize and do affirmations and all this stuff that I thought I had to do to fix something was wrong with my thinking. And the truth is, none of that helps. None of that helped me perform better at Taekwondo. And then something happened. I came to this conclusion and acceptance that, you know what, maybe you're not great at Taekwondo. Like, who cares? Or maybe, like, who cares if you don't think you're good enough? Like, great, so what? And then an interesting happened with my attention. My attention stopped looking at myself like I'm not good enough to do something about it. And my attention started to deviate towards, well, what if I spent more time doing Taekwondo? What if I spent more time studying Taekwondo and actually putting my whole self into it and enjoy the game? I got way better at Taekwondo. I was playing Taekwondo better in my 30s than I was in my early 20s. And I looked at like, why, how did that happen? What changed? And the truth is, I stopped making it about me. I stopped being so serious about myself, and I started doing the thing I had to do to be better. And it's obvious, but it didn't look obvious to me in the moment. And so if we bring this back to you, is when you're feeling that you're not good enough, is really to notice that you're giving yourself a really hard time. And I think if you can see that you're the one giving yourself a hard time, you can stop giving yourself a hard time. And secondly, again, it goes back to noticing. Notice, what's driving it? Where are you giving yourself? Why are you giving yourself a hard time? Are you weighing yourself down with expectation and worry? Because the truth is, if you let yourself settle, you'll naturally get back on track and get to where you want to be. And I've seen this every single time with all of my clients, in that the moment they settle, it's like they can hear their GPS, and they can hear their wisdom, and they can hear their knowing, and it naturally points them and guides them to not only the right direction, but the next steps, which will take them all the way to where they want to be in their lives. And I think that's wonderful. I was working with an athlete, a Thai national team athlete, and same thing, like she had 2 gold medals from the SEA Games, she was Asian Games medalist, she was on track to go to the Olympics, and she came to me because there were some days where she just felt the weight of her expectation and worry, and she really felt like she was not good enough, and she asked me to help. And our work together mainly involved helping her see that she was being really hard on herself. And the moment she saw it, she stopped caring that she thought she wasn't good enough, and she just did it anyway. She did her sport anyways, which she was a sharpshooter, and she got better. Her world rankings raised, and she won more medals, and she's back on track to competing at the Olympics, and she's okay. And I think that's what I'd really like to give to you, which is, even when you think you're not good enough, like you think you're not good enough, you're okay. And your okayness never went away. You are always really okay. And to get back to your okayness is give yourself a break, let yourself settle, and you'll naturally come back to your okayness. So thank you. If you found this helpful, please like, share, subscribe. I have a mailing list too that you can sign up for if you like articles where I write longer form things, and you might like that, and lots of other good stuff. So thank you again, and I'll see you next time. Bye.